Every tough guy movie star of the last 30 years in one gigantic, blow 'em up, machine gun, one-liner, Rambo himself, writing, starring, directing 1980s action movie homage. I review movie previews. Hey, wait. Where's Steven Seagal? Maybe it's me, but I don't see a promise of any Van Damage in this movie. Randy Couture? Not to be mean or anything, but shouldn't this movie have been called The Dependables? That makes me kinda sad. Hold on a second. I just realized I'm about to review The Expendables with a suit on. In a recent interview, Sylvester Stallone claimed that the Velcro muscles of Tim Burton's 1989 Batman signaled the end of the action movie hero of the 80s. While there is some truth in that, the fact is that the genre just ran out of gas. After 10 years of non-stop action, of explosions, of machine gun battles where the hero never seems to get hit, and always manages to take out a sea of bad guys without reloading, and if he does ever get shot or hurt, he's able to seal the wound by using some gunpowder and a flame. Rambo Part 3. Like a wise person once said, all good things, even if they have awesome explosions, M16s, and explosive-tipped arrows, must come to an end. In the movie world, it's an end that's predicted by the genre life cycle. It starts when a movie does something new, different, and original. It becomes a hit, which means that we, the audience, want to see more of it or movies similar to it. The sequels come first, and then the less inspired clones. Now we start to feel the burnout, and we reject those aspects of the movie and genre that we once loved. The only thing left to do is either creative rejuvenation or parody and satire. And the 80s action movie got both. A parody with Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2. Is it do or is it do? I don't really know. I always kind of said it like Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Yeah, but it's French and all. It seems like there should be more of an accent to it. Hot Shots Part 2. We're talking about Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen. Relax, dude. I was just trying to help, man. How about Hot Shots you? That was just mean. Oh, I forgot. You're a fan of 2.5 Men. What'd I tell you? You don't make fun of 2.5 Men. Then there's the criminally underappreciated action movie satire starring the action movie hero of the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Last Action Hero, which should have done for the action genre what Scream did for the horror genre. So roughly 30 years later, the boys are back. Or the men are back. Let's face it, the older men are back. But will the Expendables do for the action genre what the Wild Bunch did for the Western genre, or will it end up being more Blazing Saddles? Blazing Saddles was a spoof, just like Hot Shots Part 2. 2.5 Men. Everyone's got to have a guilty pleasure, alright? That nostalgic teenager I grew up in the 80s watching these films and these stars part of me wants this movie to kick major ass. But the older, wiser, cynical, cold-hearted, Story Corp has destroyed any faith that I could possibly have in future movies part of me says that this is just an average action story that we've seen before, which is using a marketing ploy developed in the 70s with the disaster films like Towering Inferno and Earthquake, where you'd have a bunch of one-time A-list stars now on the B and C list, and a couple current stars, put them all on the poster and get the audience's attention. Oh my god, there's so many awesome actors in that movie. I grew up watching that guy's movies. I totally had a crush on her in high school. She looks like that now? That guy's still alive? I have to see this movie. And when we sit down in the theater, popcorn and soda in hand, wallet empty, it's only then that we realize we've been lied to. And the truth is that we were lying to ourselves. It's time for no bullshit movie quality test question. Would we watch this action movie based only on the story, without the recognizable, iconic action figures that are in it? Soul searching, yeah, soul searching, looking for answers in that invisible part of the human being that may not exist depending on who you ask. But I'm going off on a tangent here. What was the question again? Oh yeah, would I see Expendables if it didn't have these action stars in it? No. One of the best experiences we can have going to a theater and spending $10 to $12 on a movie is knowing that we got exactly what we expected, that we weren't tricked by clever marketing into believing the movie was something more than it actually turned out to be. Did anyone really think that Grown Ups was going to be some hilarious classic film? Or did we check it out because it was basically a reunion of Saturday Night Live's 1994 cast? The lesson we can learn from that is just because they were funnier when they were younger doesn't mean they're going to be funnier when they're older. Does that logic hold true for our aged action heroes here? I mean, really, Randy Couture? I want to say it's Couture. 2.5 Men. You're an ass. I'm a UFC fan, and I know Randy Couture is a real-life ass-kicker, and in the ring he's ultra dangerous. But he hasn't made any classic, iconic action movies. It seems that The Rock would even be a better choice than him. At least he's made The Scorpion King and put his dues in. It seems like the movie isn't aware of what it really is. A love letter to the 80s action film made by one of its iconic stars. Like The Wild Bunch, this is a goodbye, a final farewell, a swan song from a genre which in that 80s action movie form really has no place in today's movie world. So why aren't all of the major iconic action stars of the past in this movie? Apparently, Van Damme passed on the film because he didn't like the script. It's true what they say. Once you go rack, you never go back. As in, straight to DVD rack at the video store. As for Steven Seagal, he was interested in this project, but had a falling out with the film's producer. Apparently, Seagal's character in the script was required to do more than just stand and punch. Has anyone dubbed Seagal the Windmill? The script was even shown to Kurt Russell, but his agent claimed that Kurt's not looking to do ensemble pictures at this point in his career. You hear that, Sly? Start working on Tango and Cash 2. Why not also include Vin Diesel? Or that dude who played Remo Williams? Google it. Oh, and what's up? Carl Weathers, Action Jackson, and of course, the ultimate 80s action hero. That Asian guy who always played the bad guy henchman in like every movie. Do you remember in Die Hard he was in the lobby and he had the machine gun and he broke into the case and took the candy bar? And how about Michael Ironside? The guy's last name has iron. And of course, Delta Force, missing in action, 80s icon movie hero, star of Firewalker with Louis Gossett Jr., Chuck Norris. Where are you? Why are you not an expendable? It would be the It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World of action movies. Except with all those stars, it would be called It's a Real Man's World. Because in today's action movie world, there are no more real men. Today, the action hero is either a nerd or a slacker. Seth Rogen as the Green Hornet, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Today's heroes need technology to be tough, whereas 30 years ago, all they needed was training. Back then, men were defined by muscles, not machines. Is this where we as a species are going? Towards a transhuman mechanized future? I mean, what's the first thing any of us think when we see someone with a Bluetooth in their ear? Universal soldier. The Expendables is the last will and testament of an out-of-date genre that was a ton of fun to watch back in the day. It's our final visit to see our grandfather on his deathbed. That's kind of a dark example right there. Can you kind of lighten it up a little bit? 2.5. I'll be quiet. Based on the preview, here's the story. Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but it's time to get the team back together because we have one more mission in South America that we have to accomplish for a load of money that's gonna set us all up for the rest of our lives. Holy shit! Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. We're in the same movie, finally! Action, comedy, camaraderie, killing a ton of bad guys, awesome one-liners. Double cross. I thought we were on the same side. I trusted you. The only loyalty I ever had in this life was to money. And the other guy, he's got a lot of it. Well, some of the team turned out to be bad guys, and we're trapped here in this cell Let's go out with a bang. Explosions, explosions, funny one-liners. The bad guys perish, the good guys survive. High five. Maybe a sequel. While I can appreciate what Stallone is doing here, this kind of feels like Freddy vs. Jason. A generation too late. It was every horror movie fan's dream back in the 80s and very early 90s to see a Jason vs. Freddy film. Just like in the mid-90s, it was every comic book fan's dream to see Aliens vs. Predator. Same thing goes in the mid-80s for the dream team matchup of Stallone and Schwarzenegger. Here it just feels like it's too little, too late, especially since Arnold only has a very small cameo in this film. I'm the governor. What do you think? I'm going to do acting again? So is this worthy enough to see on the big screen? Taking it for what it is? Absolutely. But because there's really nothing new here in terms of the story, save a little money and see it at matinee price. It'll be predictable, borderline cliche, but that's what we're going for because we know what we're getting. While I guess you can say better late than never, there is a ton of nostalgia factor influencing the motivation of this film. And in the end, for that reason, we can say that this is a slight sign of movie hope. Normally I'd vote Apocalypse, but because Stallone was able to get all these people together, come up with a story, get the green light, it really is kind of a passion project for him, and it's us going to the theater to have a little fun. After all, part of the reason we go, aside from the art form, is to also be entertained. And there's no doubt for me that if you're a fan of action movies, especially those in the 80s and early 90s, you're going to enjoy this film. As for its place in movie history, it'll be better than this year's The A-Team, but won't be as impactful or meaningful on the action genre as The Wild Bunch was for the Western. In terms of box office, with a budget of $85 million, it should make its money back with the worldwide total before it leaves theaters. Opening weekend, look for it to make about $40 million here in the US, with a worldwide take between $250 to $300. I know that seems kinda high, but I think it's gonna be huge in Europe, especially Russia, because Russians love Dolph Lundgren. I must break you. Now that would be an awesome surprise if the action movie icons start quoting from other movies that they've been in. I'll be back. You're the disease, and I'm the cure. Despite the missing icons that we all wish would have been in this film, Stallone and the cast here realize what this film is. Because while they may not be relevant in today's movie world, their place in movie history is anything but expendable. Thanks for the good times, boys. Here's to going out with a bang. So until next time, choose your movies wisely because Story Corp gives us more of what we pay for. And as always,
long live good movies.
Hey, I'm the guy from the Old Spice commercials. I used to be a football player. I don't know why I'm in this movie.